I personally feel that there's danger added to what we were doing. I think it's one of the reasons for doing it. Nowadays, of course, the risks are far less. I mean, it's really be very unfortunate for a person to be killed today. I don't think they could unless something from another car hit a person.
There comes a point where if motorcycle racing isn't dangerous, then who's going to want to watch it?
The whole ethos of the racing is that you're meant to keep it between the white lines, not hit the arm curb, because you'll get hurt. Now, if you're a young hooligan, you can just charge into somebody and you just get out and walk off down the road feeling a bit sore. Safety's great, but I think it's vastly overrated.
People who say that have probably never been there when they've actually had to confront the death firsthand, or had to tell somebody's father that his son is actually dead.
Peterson, 38.6.
It's great to talk about living on the edge and all the romance and so on. When somebody's actually dead, and you have to go to the funeral, and it usually would be a beautiful summer afternoon, it's you can think of person after person after person. You can have a wonderful party with the people who got killed.
Ronnie Peterson's death at the end of '78 had a profound impact on James. It was James who plunged into the flames and pulled him out, so it was very first-hand experience how it can all be over just like that.
Hunt was blamed by some for causing the accident. He never fully recovered his passion for racing. The danger needed to be the drug, or what was the point?
Considering James had his fair share of crashes, was he luckier than average not to be killed racing?
Yes, probably.
It was a completely different mind game than today. And you had to have big balls to do it.
I remember when motor racing was dangerous and sex was safe. Now it's the other way around. Sex is dangerous and motor racing is safe.
They wanted the Playboy image.
You couldn't get away with that now.
Sports reporters had the secret.
He produced lines of white powder. He had both of them.
I can't hear you. Roll VTR.
The relationship between sports star and journalist was much closer than it is today.
Now, just a minute, I haven't done my hair yet. I'm not ready to go on the telly.
Today, the sports star is surrounded by their advisors, and over there are the journalists gaining access, by the way, but controlled access through the image that they want to give off.
So why don't you join us? I can't hear a bloody word I'm saying.
It was a much closer friendship between people, and in a way I think they felt, the sports stars felt that they could trust certain journalists.
Today they might call it keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. James Hunt and Barry Sheene's working relationship with the media was rarely tactical.
James, how much does this victory mean to you? 9 points, $20,000 and a lot of happiness.
A degree of trust would guarantee access, sometimes to all areas.
It all went very well. Feeling a bit sleepy?
Yeah.
You sore?
Yeah. We still had a kind of agreement with the media to leave us our life in the way how we feel, even if it sometimes was a bit out of the frame. There was still a kind of respect, okay, that's private life.
Sports reporters were considered very much part of the entourage. They had the secret.
You know, the journalists got involved with what went on, and there was a bit of cash and brown envelopes floating around, you know, sex, drugs and rock and roll. There was a bit of drugs going on and stuff like that, but it wasn't reported because everyone was part of the scene.
We were in Rio, and James said to me, do you mind if we stop at a friend's flat? So we stopped this very beautiful building, went to the top where there's this amazing penthouse flat, a very nice man there. We all sit down, and he produced a block of polished marble. And he then laid out on the marble 3 lines of white powder. And James turned to me and he said, "You don't want yours, Max, do you?" And I said, No, I don't. And he had both of them, and the other man had the third one, and then we went happily to the party.
Did he ever go then to the start line under the influence? Be honest.
I don't know, but it wouldn't astonish me. Everything depends on the finest judgment, particularly the lives of the other drivers, so it would be a very wrong thing to do, and maybe he never did.
But
who can be sure?
And so finally to the sportsman of 1976.
At their peak, Hunt and Sheene were earning huge sums in sponsorship deals.
James Hunt.
Britain's 2 world champions were represented by the PR agency, CSS. Linda Patterson was the press liaison. During their careers, Hunt's use of cocaine was never exposed.
Could you give me a cigarette? Can I grab that cigarette off you? Thanks.
Sheen's relationship with Stephanie was never jeopardised, and neither were their lucrative endorsements.
Photographs, ladies and gents. Memories of the Costa Boo Harbour.
The ad agencies were open to taking things differently.
Wait a tick. Stone me, you're David Bailey, aren't you?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not Bailey.
Listen, I think you want me. Look, chum, I'm talking to the engineer, not the oily rag.
They wanted something that was more cutting edge. They wanted the Playboy image. It was something that hadn't happened before, and it differentiated them from all the other brands that had gone down the straightforward route.
Good-looking young lad, liked pretty girls, did all the things that everyone wanted to do. He was a hero. He was like a kid's hero.
Like James Bond.
Absolutely like James Bond, yeah, without... well, there was a 7 in there as well, of course.
Daring, successful, attractive.
Lovely bit of trumpet.
Hunt and Sheene were adored by advertisers. For the aspirational man of the 70s, Playboy was the role model.
That's what I call flying the flag.
We moved into a time when it was a lot of fun.
Splash it all over.
Splash it all over, Henry. Lovely way to freshen up.
The Brute commercial was huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah, but I wear it for a better reason. What's that?
I like it. It was like the adoring woman fawning over the man.
It wasn't a case of getting away with it, it's just the way things were done.
James did Texaco.
Oh, hello, James. How's it going, boys?
With Morecambe and Wise.
What time does the match begin?
The race starts in 5 minutes.
Well, the man have to start without you, Wise.
And he was the chauffeur.
What about a tip then?
Held his hand out for a tip at the end of it.
Leave the women alone.
That never happened. Trackside or on set, Hunt and Sheene rarely modified their behaviour for anybody, especially the sponsors who were paying them.
Well, James, for the second time this year you managed pole. How do you do it?
I just jump in and give it arseholes, you know.
There you go. Give it arseholes.
Barry was absolutely besotted with Stephanie and was jealous if Stephanie wasn't around, but was quite happy to be with other women. But it wasn't necessarily bedding. I mean, with Barry, it was quick man in the corner or something, because he just knew that he could get away with it. I mean, some of the sponsors even realised what he was doing, and of course they were proud of him. They were similar age, and they were a bit jealous, I think, in a way.
Did Barry get away with it?
Almost probably, yeah. Yeah, I never found out about any of his dalliances. If he had any, I'm sure he did when I wasn't around. But all men do, don't they?
Now you know why he's been world champion 2 years running.
Barry sold the iconic brand, but didn't buy it.
Of course, I altered my Brute 33.
Go on, Steph, splash it all over.
God, he'd have gone mad if you'd have splashed that all over him.
Nothing beats the great smell of Brute.
We used to have buckets of it. We used to give it to his uncle, who used to stink of it.
I suggest you ask a positive question or I'll move on.
Don't talk about that. My phone is being tapped.
He had to fight his own demons with drink and drugs.
What are you allergic to? Cancer.
I'd like to tell you about the Vauxhall range. What I really go for in today's Vauxhalls is their sleek new look.
Sports marketing has come a long way since the 1970s.
Why don't you take a Vauxhall for a test drive?
Today, it's a global industry built on multinational brand names. Television commercials command feature film budgets. The launch of a new campaign can be a worldwide event. At the epicenter is the star athlete.
We want heroes. We want people to be better than they are.
You have big manufacturers into the sport, but they are also having a very clear mind what they expect from you. If you want now being in the game, you have to play a certain role. That sometimes cuts a little bit your wings.
I'm just excited to get in the car.
Both teams are what to win the match.
These things happen in football.
As I've said all along,
there's no easy game.
Boys done a fantastic job.
Lost for words, to be honest with you.
I don't see why. You can't have personality and be a star, but the people that are around them, every time you say anything that veers off the straight and narrow, an apology has to be given. Why don't they just turn around and say, well, I'm not apologising?
We've already done you.
We haven't. Why now?
Those that surround them say, for God's sake, don't say anything. Or if you are going to say anything, saying, oh, you'll be disappointed in that.
I'm a professional football player. I love playing football. I enjoy it, and I want to win every game. So I suggest you ask a positive question or I'll move on.
If I listen to any more of that, I think I'll die.
Right. What you don't know is for every story I break, there's 10 I stop.
You see him here, you see him there. You see Max Clifford everywhere these days.
For 40 years, Max Clifford has been Britain's most influential figure in the world of celebrity PR. 70% of his work now revolves around protecting, not promoting, the careers of his clients, especially his growing list of sports stars.
Right, we start again.